On today's Minute of the Apes, lawgiver, who knows about the future? You tug on my long flowing mane right now, your future is also going to be on the ground just like that shit kid that did that to her.
Keep your sticking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
What is the divine bomb?
The only good human is a dead human! Where there is fire, there is smoke.
The minute of the apes. 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 Yay!
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time. I had gravel throat. I am Todd. Oh, I almost played some music there, and we'll just keep going. But we've got Sean over there.
It's Monday. Are you okay?
I'm stumbling a little bit. I think it's because Richard started so strong.
Is that what it was?
It's really, man, being the one that has to bring back in when you've brought the drama.
I'm telling you, he pulls on her hair, and I'm like, she should have smacked him. I don't even know what. There's this beautiful moment happening right now. We should probably talk about this a minute before I go too further down this path.
All right.
Okay. Sean, tell us because Richard has a point
He's got
to
stuff
make.
to say.
Tell
yes.
us what's going on with minute 86.
All right, we start minute 86 with the lawgiver saying, "As I look at apes and humans," and ends with credits rolling. The last one seen is Doctor.
All right, here we come. Minute 86 of battle for the Planet of the Apes.
But as I look at apes and humans, living in friendship, harmony, and at peace, now some 600 years after Caesar's death, at least we wait with hope for the future.
Lawgiver, who knows about the future?
Perhaps only the dead.
As of minute 86, we have a surprisingly large village worth of apes and humans, plus a much smaller ghost city's worth of radioactive people, and no more Aldo.
For all that is said here, we don't have a ton of shots. We see the lawgiver, the camera pulls back, swings around to see a gathering of human children and ape children. The human children now at least wearing a little bit more ragged clothing. The ape children in their typical, it's all chimpanzees. All chimpanzees in their green schmucks. Pushes up to the statue of Caesar as it cries.
I also get the hair pull.
Yes, we do get the hair pull, we get all this. Let's start first off. It's 600 years in the future,
Which was not in the script.
Okay.
So he says everything, but as I look at apes and humans living together in friendship, harmony, at peace, at least we wait with hope for the future. So the now some 600 years after Caesar's death, I guess they're trying to distinguish that the lawgiver is taking place after Caesar was long gone.
Way in the future.
Right, but it really wasn't put in there. They do mention we close to a little black human girl descended from McDonald's, ? Rising to ask a question.
It says that in the script?
Oh, my God.
Descended from McDonald. So they were very intentionally wanting to use a black actor, child in this particular moment. I don't understand why their clothes are now ragged. I don't understand why 600 years has passed and they haven't developed any technology yet.
Well, 600 years has passed. Are they saying that Caesar changed the future because humans haven't devolved to be wild animals, and they seem to be living in harmony with the chimpanzees at least? So is Planet of the Apes happening? Did he actually change the future?
That would have been nice to actually see something where the future changes.
Yeah. Or is this actually just what happens on the path to Planet of the Apes?
Well, okay, let's also look at a timeline. So if we know that they are 27 years forward from conquest.
Based on what Mandemus
and that
said.
was 1991. So
Okay.
they would have been in 2008 in this film.
Okay.
Effectively. Now they're 600 years in the future. I'm trying to remember, and I'm trying to look and see because I don't have it in front of me. What year does that clock say and when they crash? Because I like the evolution to the humans looking dirty, but you've got a little girl that
3978.
okay, so they've got quite a ways to go.
Yeah.
to get further, and their society doesn't progress at all.
Well,
other than the humans devolving.
Well, we've seen
and switching back to being.
We've seen what it looks like in Planet of the Apes. I mean, they live in the Flintstones village, and
So apparently,
rough-hewn everything.
Apes devolve as well, or is that somehow
They just don't
a
evolve.
modern?
Their technology is at a standstill.
So what happens? It's 600 years in the future. We've got so that puts them roughly 2,700.
We're supposed to see humans and apes living together in
Coexisting.
harmony, which is what the lawgiver now says.
Right.
But the lawgiver writes scrolls that then become relevant for another 1,000 years in the future.
Right.
And also, where are the mutants? I mean, they're still.
And that's the whole thing. We had mutants with the bomb that we know is there. We weren't really shown it in this cut of the film. We are in the extended cut.
It'd been
What the
interesting-
fuck happens?
It'd been-
I mean,
if they're trying to say that they change the future, they should have had mutant kids here too. So you have humans, apes,
Right.
and mutants all together.
I mean, so what I could my mind can travel with the fact that the mutants in the city do devolve over this period of time.
Mm-hmm.
But the scene they're showing us now does not get us to where we need to be in the future.
And it doesn't even tease that it's going that way.
But it doesn't.
The humans are talking,
It also
yeah.
doesn't fully give us the fact that they have changed the future. Like it's
if that's the whole point, I don't know if that's what the point was.
But
'cause
you think
maybe,
about
yeah.
that they're following the lawgiver's teachings in Planet. Now we know that Zaius is a little bit of a I don't even know what to call him. He's going to distort the truth. He's going to hide the things he finds, he knows about. But the lawgiver's teachings seem to be very peaceful, that humans and apes are living in harmony.
Yeah.
Where did now
Zaius hid those pages, right?
maybe it's
Right.
like Christianity where they know that there are certain chapters and verses that are taken out of the Bible.
We've talked about the fact that Zaius was probably hiding some of the teachings.
He
of the
has to have been,
Yeah.
because what we hear from the lawgiver here does not work with the dogmatic bullshit that we see in the first film.
Yeah.
The thing that threw me about this final minute was not the lawgiver just kind of saying we're living in harmony and blah blah blah. That was fine. That was a nice way to close the thing. They actually have it scripted that the boy chimp is supposed to aggressively pull on one of her pigtails. And she mischievously rewards him with a stinging slap in the face. Then she goes, "Lawgiver, who knows about the future?" This actually is done in reverse. She actually says that first,
Yeah,
and then
and then
the
he pulls the
pigtails
hair.
and push things happens. Are they supposed to say they're playing and that's why they're having a good time? Because
They're not playing.
It doesn't
No,
come
'cause
across
he
that
pulls
way.
it fucking hard.
It foreshadows future conflict between the two.
And
more
maybe
than
that's
anything
what they
else.
Maybe,
intended.
they're saying, it's still not totally peaceful between the two.
And is that why Caesar's
statues
cry?
cry? Yeah. I mean,
Because
why-
that came out of nowhere.
Why do statues cry, Mom?
Well, we'll talk about the statue crying in a minute. I do have to.
I did not like closing off what should be an optimistic end to a movie with the action between the two kids. That really kind of set
I
me
think
off.
that's wrong too. I don't think it belongs here. I do have to tell you, I made these notes before taking my daughter to college, and I'm going to replay the moment with the little girl, and then I'm going to tell you as I'm watching it, and I'm going to stop it because before I even made a note, this is what Abby said. Hang on.
With hope for the future.
Lawgiver, who knows about the future?
Pulls, shoves, and she goes, "Oh, that's right, Queen."
yeah.
And it's like when you think like that, it's wrong. Because that's what you think is, yeah, you little shit, don't pull the girl's hair. She's asking a deep question.
Right. Even if they'd flipped it,
Yeah.
it still wouldn't work for me. It's just so randomly aggressive for something that should be leading to hope.
Are they trying to put in that children are always going to give in to violence, and violence comes from the youth? And I couldn't figure out the message or the thought of what this was.
I mean, that's why the statue's crying, because they can't get along after 600 years.
And what is he? Lawgiver who knows about the future Perhaps only the dead.
What the fuck
What
does
is-
that
where
mean?
did that
If
come
nothing
from?
else, they
So
can only know about
the
the
dead,
past.
and then we cut to a shot of Caesar's statue. So are we supposed to, after 600 years, are we supposed to be shocked that Caesar's dead? Because it's like
Or
only
maybe-
the dead.
oh,
What?
Well, Caesar's dead, so maybe only he knows the future.
Okay, so let's talk about the tier. And I did a little bit of research. What's it supposed to say? Is it out of love and harmony that can exist between man and ape? But what I found was that Dane, who wrote the final draft of the screenplay, is quoted in a book called Planet of the Apes Revisited by John Russo, states that the tier is to tell the audience Caesar's good intentions will ultimately fail.
Oh,
shit.
okay.
So they didn't change the future. So
They
we
did
are
not.
actually we are in a cyclical
Yeah.
nature of their.
That was his intent with that tier.
And I think that's great, but the closing scene does not.
No.
No,
does
it
not
doesn't say that.
And
yeah.
if they're trying to tease that with the shove between the two,
Maybe
kids,
that's it.
It doesn't work for me either. It doesn't really say that to me. I mean, maybe if the shove and the pull happened as he's saying only the dead and they're juxtaposed next to the statue and it cries, I don't know.
I feel like the question isn't who knows about the future. The future, who knows about the future has no meaning in this moment. It needs, if you want to use this image of children fighting, that needs to be, will we always fight with one another? They need to start fighting in the middle of now, children fighting in the middle of a lesson, that's one thing. But to ask me who knows about the future and then boop, 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 doesn't work. But if the tugging of the hair and all this started, and then if one of the children were to ask, why do we fight? Why do we fight with each other? Then answer that and maybe go, that could work.
Yeah.
This does not work at all.
If you were maybe the lawgiver were in a classroom and the statue is a part of the classroom or the instruction or a temple or a church or whatever is supposed to outside, and the kids were already segregated just by the nature of kids segregating themselves.
That'd be interesting
And
too.
then you see a push or a shove happen at sitting on a desk while the lawgiver's talking, and then the statue cries. Maybe that says that they're always going to have these divisions. I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad idea to end it this way. It's just not, from what we've seen in the movie, it's the way it's shot. It's just not executed well. I do love John Huston coming back though.
I love John Huston.
I love the lawgiver.
Have the kids have their fight.
Yeah.
Have the lawgiver even say, we have to stop doing this violence. And then if we want to have a future together, then if the little girl said, who knows about the future, and you wanted to do this, at least you've kind of gotten there.
Yeah.
But this, who knows about the future, I don't understand who gives a shit.
Yeah.
And then I don't understand the fight and I don't understand the tier. That's where Dane's intent of the tier does not work, because if you had shown that they're going to fight and you call out the fighting, at least then the tier kind of says he's sad because it's never changed.
Right. I mean, the lawgiver would not have to point out only the dead as the answer to who knows about the future. You would only have to see the conflict and the statue reacting to the conflict to know that it doesn't end. But then it's also kind of sad because we just went through this entire movie and
But it is sad.
The lawgiver's trying to leave on some hope, and it's just like, no, sorry.
You see
it's
the
always going to be there.
You see
Yeah.
a tear roll down the face. Wait 3 seconds, then a bird shits on it.
I did think of the
Or maybe reverse it. It gets shit on and then he starts crying.
the famous ad campaign out of the 70s with the Native American man crying when people littered. That's all I kept thinking
you know
every
he's
time.
not Native American, though, right?
Yeah, I did, but that they want you to believe it is. But it brought to mind that I thought, what was it with the 70s? Having things weeping,
just
and
looking.
it's like, what the
And
fuck?
It's very passive, just crying. That's all we can do. It's just cry.
So, look, I know we have 1 minute of credits to go, and before we get done, we got into this visually. There are credits at the end. After this, we see Roddy, Claude, Natalie, Culp. Is that Severn? Is that Severn Darden?
Yeah.
Lou Ayres, Paul Williams, Austin Stoker, and on and on. We see all of them.
Culp's first name sounds like I'm drunk and I'm trying to get beers for everybody. How many beers do you need? I need Severin beers today, right now, please.
So tomorrow we're gonna more focus on our thoughts of the film and whatnot. I actually thought of the series. We'll leave that. I want to spend right now talking about your thought of this film. You've now Sean's
Now I've
Sean's
actually
famously
seen
never
them all.
seen them all.
Yeah.
You and I have, Richard. Sean, you've now seen them.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that next week. Or
but
tomorrow.
we'll talk about the series as a whole. But today, you've now seen this film. What do you think of this film?
If I had to rank them,
No, tomorrow.